Go ahead and get into our first game here. It's going to be the bronze-silver matchup. It's going to be a ZVZ on our map, Dataless Point, spawning in the bottom right for Team StraTk. It is our Zerg player spawning in purple. It's Sin. Never mind the observer chat span there. I was talking to somebody prior to starting this replay up and felt like getting rid of what I was talking about, so I did that. And Sin's opponent spawning in the top left. In pink. Gonna give my eyes a workout. For Team Outset. It's the TheDaftOne. So this is a ZVZ. Gone are the days of Muta versus Muta, at least from the beginning of HOTS at least. And gone are the days of Broodlord versus Broodlord, and now we can deal with seeing Swarmhost versus Swarmhost for 4-hour games, as I believe Stefano had a 3-hour some odd game yesterday that he was tweeting about, where he had his opponent pinned to his opponent original main, but they just had Swarmhost versus Swarmhost, and so many spore crawlers you couldn't do anything against it. I'm not sure what exactly happened in the game. I think he said he got a draw. I never actually followed up on it. I just saw the picture where Stefano had creep spread around the entirety of the map, and yeah, nothing either player could do. It was a good time. But for now, TheDaftOne still has a chance to actually go hatch first. He may. No, he's going to go pool first, though. Both players will be going pool first. Making sure they're nice and safe. This is a fairly, I mean, it is a 2-player map, but it is a very big 2-player map. So going hatch first is a possibility, but not necessary, really. I mean, you may as well stay safe. There's no reason not to stay safe in ZVZ these days, when it's just so easy to do so. And both players are also getting a gas before they do any expansions, so they're going to be as safe as possible, and also open up possibility of aggression if the other player had decided to try to play a little bit greedy or anything. But for now, Sin is seeing the second Overlord, or no, hopefully that would be the second Overlord. I'm not sure. I doubt these two passed, but you can assume that is the second Overlord given the timing of it. Yeah, both players are just kind of chilling on starting out here. Sin has expanded. Meanwhile, TheDaftOne hasn't yet expanded. It looks like he's going to right now, but so the players are playing pretty much the same. Sin's everything is kind of ahead right now. You just have a queen and a couple lings on the way, and only a queen right now for TheDaftOne. Both players are sitting at their supply block. Overlord Bush started a little bit earlier for TheDaftOne, but again, small differences in these openers, but nothing too drastic. It's going to kind of depend on what they decide to do with their gases here. Speed already on the way for TheDaftOne, still staying in gas, and speed on the way as well for Sin, and still staying in gas. So this opens up a lot of possibilities. You see early road, you see banelings, but both players are really playing pretty much the exact same as each other. Neither player chose to drone scout. Actually, the first two lings for both players are going to meet here in one moment, and actually Sin kind of lucks out and gets one little chew off on one of the Zerglings, but by the time he's able to catch up, it's going to regen its health and be just fine and be at full health. Actually, he's going to split that one off. So he just wants to scout with this ling, and he's going to be able to, because there's nothing really to push us away. I mean, there's queen in the main base, but the ling's going to get in and be fine. There are 6 lings about to pop for Sin, and queen is actually trying to do some work here, but yeah, this ling's going to get in and be able to see absolutely everything. Sees the gas, but no, there's really nothing to see beyond seeing the fact that gas is taken, which really isn't too different from his own main base right now, so he's not going to know too much. But as soon as that ling is gone, Sin throws down the Bailey Nest, so it looks like he's going to want to get aggressive here. Given that this Bailey Nest is all the way in the main base and pretty far back in the main base, this will probably be an aggressive stance here. He's going to want to actually attack with this. He's already made a good amount of lings. He's already got 8 on the map right now, versus only the 3, but he has a chance of losing this Overlord actually to this queen, which could put quite the damper. He is already on 28, actually 34, 36 now, but losing those links would be a bit annoying. So try to get in here. He has speed finish, but both players do have speed, but the higher link count for Sin, there are 2 queens, so they're going to be able to start attacking. He'd be just fine with this. 12 more lings in production for Sin, so he's definitely going all about this aggression, and really nothing is on the production tab right now for our pink Zerg player. His Bailey Nest is just about to finish, but he needs to get up some lings to actually make into banelings by the time all these speedlings get over here. And with just a large number of speedlings against right now just 2 queens, that's going to be a big issue for TheDaftOne unless he can actually get some units out. He doesn't have any overlords sitting outside of his natural. He does have this overlord down here is able to see that some things are on the way, but even still, Sin is actually going into a Roach Warren pretty quickly here. Just setting himself up nicely, but first few banelings are being morphed in for Sin. First few are being morphed in by DaftOne as well. And if Sin doesn't attack, basically immediately he's going to have a rough time here. He's going to come down to kind of these baneling trades here. And how much can each player get for each baneling? And nice attempted micros by both players. Actually, Sin loses basically everything to banelings. DaftOne still has a bane leftover and some lings, so he is going to be just fine, even adding on more lings. And he can kind of counterswing this if he felt like it, or he can stay home and stay as safe as possible. Are there any roaches out just yet? There's no roaches out just yet for Sin. He does have the option to get roaches, though, and that'll keep him safe from a huge ling baneling flood from his opponent, but I don't know if DaftOne realizes that he took a pretty big advantage there, but he doesn't seem to be trying to move out right now. 13 lings lost versus 8 lings lost, and all of the banelings that he had are lost as well. Another ling gets in for DaftOne, so he sees that the Roach Warren is done, so he knows what he's facing right now. And still no actual decision. Actually, what was that, 6 Overlords on the way, so it's a huge supply block, it seems. And it looks like he wanted to get out a lot of units, but he's playing out his own Roach Warren. He's going to try to get, just kind of match his opponent tit for tat as much as possible. And both players are just continuing to focus on their economies for the time being. Sin with a slight worker lead right now. He's up actually 8 workers, which actually isn't that slight, especially at this moment in the game. His lair is also just about finished, and nothing really seems to be on the way right now for DaftOne. Actually has 2 Roach Warrens in production. He must have accidentally started one. I guess he didn't. He tried to make roaches and realized he couldn't make roaches because this Warren wasn't done yet, so he made another one up here. So we're going to have double roaches, which basically means he's going to immediately go for speed and tunneling claws, yeah? Totally. That's exactly what that means. Right. So worker count has evened up. But army count right now is pretty heavily in favor of Sin, and he's actually going into Spire as soon as he possibly can. He doesn't really have much gas banked up. He is on these 4 gases here, but not much really, not many drones are actually mining minerals, so he'll have one of the resources he needs and not the other one, which is going to be kind of difficult to make Spire work, and especially if that gets scattered out by DaftOne, he's able to set up pretty easily against that. But it doesn't look like he's just really worried. He doesn't seem too worried right now. He's getting 1-1 for his range units, so he will likely be going into Hydras as soon as this lair is finished. Curious when he's going to see the fact that he has these 2 Roach Warrens, or if he even ever notices. He may never notice it. That is a distinct possibility. And actually 26 more lings just now popping for DaftOne. So despite the fact that he's going for this Roach play, he's added on a ton of lings. I'm not sure if he was afraid. I'm not sure exactly what all he has seen. But he may have been afraid. I imagine he saw how many units were out for Sing, since he did see these Spine Colors building not too long ago. So he must have seen that pretty recently. So he wanted to build a lot more units and just didn't have the gas to make a lot of roaches. So he went for lings instead. But he has seen the Spire, it seems. Yes, he has seen the Spire. So he's got double Spore Crawlers in his bases, and not many mutas are going to be on the way. Only 3 mutas on the way right now. And just adding on some more banelings and roaches at the front. And DaftOne sees all this. He has speed for his Overlords. He's able to see absolutely everything. Making sure he's actually pulling these Overlords back, trying to get so they can survive against the Mutalisks that are eventually going to come out. Now the player has really gone for a 3rd base yet, which is kind of the telling tale of ZVZ these days, is who can get the 3rd base up and actually keep it up. Baneling's starting to roll in, taking out a bunch of these lings actually pretty well, and only a few roaches left over, and with the Muta support, these roaches are going to back off at least to the Queens. And for the moment, Sin has this kind of nice contain, but 1-1 is about to finish up for DaftOne. No Hydrogen on the way just yet. So these meters are going to be kind of annoying. There's not very many of them. Only 3 on the field. 3 more on the way. Actually, there's 8 on the field. I'm not sure where they're flying around. Oh, they're over here. They're flying around over here. And realizing that the Sin has this contain, he's gonna take a 3rd. But a nice Ling gonna run by and probably gonna go checking. Yes, he's checking immediately to go for this 3rd. So he wants to know if his opponent is going to continue this aggression or if he's actually just going to back off. And he does see the 3rd base is there, so he's going to feel at least a little bit safe. And a few mutas are flying in here, but again, 2 Spore Colors, 3 mutas, not a big deal. He's actually going to lose all these Mutalisks for free. And DaftOne is actually, he's got a good chance to surround this army completely here. Speedlings get around the roaches, and the rest of the roaches are going to swing in and take everything out. And Sin is dropping in supply pretty heavily. These mutas are here and going to be able to fight against the roaches unabated, but he's going to pull absolutely everything back. with the amount of roaches that DaftOne has, and they have 1/1 with +2 on the way, he's able to just walk custom wrap, snipe off this hatch, or at least cancel it, and then start working his way into the main base. There's really not enough to really push this away. This third base is definitely going to get canceled at least, or it made us die. He's got a good amount of meters now, so he's going to start picking away at this composition, but with only Lings as his defense and these 2 Sporing Crawlers here, there's not really much that Sin can do, and having +1 is really going to help DaftOne here at least survive long enough to do a lot of damage, and he's doing exactly that. He's start taking everything out. He doesn't really care about these roaches. He's going to get here and do a lot of damage. Queen goes down immediately, and now drones are starting to die, and we're already up to 10, 14 workers killed, and this natural is not long for this world. 16 workers have gone down now. There's 40 workers to 26. 119 supply to 62, and DaftOne looks like he's going to be taking a quick 1-0 for Outset here in this first game of this Best of 9 series. A ton of Spine Colors trying to be added on by Sin, but he knows he's not in this. He's going to call GG there. So well played there to our pink Zerg player, DaftOne from Team Outset.